Hey, I have a real quick question before we start. I thought about this the other day. I was at the store, I was buying Pop-Tarts, and I thought to myself...
Hold on, what flavor?
Honestly...
Is this part of it?
It is part of it, but I'm not going to tell you until after this. But,
okay, I understand.
My question is, who the fuck buys the other flavors of Pop-Tarts? Because...
There's a lot.
Define other flavors.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, well, because there's strawberry, there's brown cinnamon sugar, and then there's wild berry, and even that one's a little fringe. And then there's every other flavor.
Dude, every single person I've ever met has been like, there are 2 flavors, anything else is shit. And
I would argue there are 4, personally, but 2 of them are fringe.
All right, what are the 4?
Okay, so in order... the 2 flavors are brown cinnamon sugar.
Sponsored by Pop-Tarts, by the way.
The 2 flavors are brown cinnamon sugar and strawberry, right?
Yeah, I literally will not eat a Pop-Tart if it's not brown sugar and cinnamon.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, brother, hell yeah. But no, yeah, it's strawberry and brown cinnamon sugar. And then the 2 fringe flavors are wild berry and s'mores.
Okay, I was about to say, s'mores is fucking banging.
Yes, and that's why it's in the 4, but it's still one of the fringe ones.
I'm honestly,
What's wrong with it? What don't you like about it?
the taste, the texture.
What?
The general look, smell, feel.
Right,
Honestly, that is some. The
I don't
smell,
like hearing it.
S'mores is the best flavor. You want to know what the worst flavor is?
What?
Fucking cinnamon.
With just regular cinnamon or brown sugar cinnamon?
Brown sugar cinnamon.
Interesting.
Can you please leave immediately? We're going to make this a duo show now.
Yeah, I'm now learning that the people who buy the other flavor, there's apparently just as much hype for every other flavor.
I guess. But brown cinnamon sugar is the superior Pop-Tart.
Honestly, that's the Pop-Tart I think of.
No, it's not.
When I
think of Pop-Tarts, right?
Yeah.
When I think of eating a Pop-Tart, I think of that one. When I think of Pop-Tart as a brand, I think of strawberry.
Sure.
Just because I think that was the original.
That's just wrong.
Because I feel like...
That's just wrong. Brown cinnamon sugar tastes like shit.
You taste like shit, and I would know.
That's on him. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Because you looked at me like, do you know as well? No, I do not. I don't know how he knows, but I didn't do it as well.
And on that note, welcome back to...
Crack open a cryptid. This episode, watch us talk about cryptids and things that are...
You know, it's kind of a problem because this is a me episode today, and it's not a cryptid.
All right, so crack open a cold one. This is just us drinking.
These are I've been seeing these for a while, these Corona hard seltzers. I haven't had one before. I got the pineapple one, though, and gave it to you, though.
Adrian. Oh, thank you. By the way, have you heard... Blue Moon is actually making a seltzer.
I would try that because I like Blue Moon.
Blue Moon is delicious. Well,
I love me some Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Dude, it's unoffensive, the Corona seltzer. It's unoffensive. It's not great, but it's unoffensive.
It doesn't have the orange flavor of Blue Moon, which is what I'm into.
Yeah.
What about the Belgian wheat?
Yeah, give me like 2 minutes though, because I just realized.
Oh yeah, you need it. Yeah, that's right. Jeremy just has one. I always forget about that.
Oh yeah.
It's because I'm drinking so constantly.
Yeah, he's a high functioning alcoholic, as we all know.
The thing that really got frustrating is constantly having to use my seat, like undoing my seatbelt to open them up. So I just put it on my keys.
How does this? Am I doing it right?
You are doing it right. It's just impractical and not useful in any way. What I did here is I gave you a tool that is not usable at all.
You know, the last episode of the podcast, as of right now, that I edited, you and I, Jeremy, were talking about how simplistic our keys were. And at one point, you just took it and shook it in front of the microphone for a while. And I forgot about that when I was editing. And I threw my headphones off of my fucking head because it hurt.
So anyway,
what I tend to do, I go around the lid.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and just prop it up little by little.
Yeah. Because eventually it will come out. It's a tool that has absolutely no leverage.
I also brought him. I also brought Angry Orchards because hell yeah.
Yeah, no, this was painful.
Was there any more to that Pop-Tart story?
No, my whole thing was just being like, hey, who the fuck buys these? And then,
we found out.
Yeah, everyone in the room was like, wait, you don't hate the one I hate? And it's like, oh, no, I didn't. Okay.
My girlfriend's favorite flavor recently is like birthday cake. And it's like, why? Who gives a shit?
No, hold on.
You don't like birthday cake flavors?
The concept.
But like, why?
The concept that you said recently, as if your Pop-Tart flavor can change over time.
Oh, her Pop-Tart flavor, like her favorite Pop-Tart flavor changes literally every time we go to the store.
Apparently, she is like the target audience because constantly, like, my mom hates Pop-Tarts, but she's constantly like, I want Pop-Tarts in the house. And it's because when she was young, she always wanted Pop-Tarts, and her mom would like never buy. Like the joke is always like, "Hey, did you have this when you were a kid?" My mom would be like, "No," because it was fun, and my parents didn't give me fun things.
Oh no.
See, I kind of get that though, because my mom wouldn't really let me have like sugary cereals.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I go to the store, I bring back like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Twix. Not Twix. Trix.
I
and
can't
all
eat
that.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It is far too sweet for me.
Yeah. Here's the
do
thing though, like I'll buy the boxes, I'll put them up in the cupboard, and they'll stay there for like half a year.
I don't. For some reason, once the cereal box gets half empty, I'm like, oof,
I never want
yeah,
this ever again.
I'm never gonna.
Yep.
Excuse me, that's trash.
I totally understand where you're coming from with that.
But
Yeah, today we're talking about divination. Do you know what divination is?
oh shit, I do know what
I mean,
divination
I've
is.
played Divinity.
I mean that they are derived from the same word. Divination
divine.
yeah. Divination literally just means to be inspired by a god.
Really?
That feels
Yeah.
like that's used incorrectly.
It's because
Why don't they call it? I guess.
because divining is you're attempting to see the future through use of like rituals or supernatural means. So in ancient times, which we'll actually get into in just a moment, in ancient times they thought that they would do these rituals for the gods, and the gods would let them see the future.
Oh,
So it comes
Really, they
from
were
like
just
the
like-
very beginning.
they're like, if we shove this cactus up our ass, suddenly we're all in tons of pain. And they were like, you knew that ahead of time.
There's a war coming. So modern forms of divination really include things like horoscopes, tarot cards, physics,
Physics.
psychics.
Jesus Christ.
Psychics.
Wow. All right.
I'm an idiot. But yeah,
Hold on.
horoscopes,
We're
tarot.
not gonna skip over that.
I meant psychics.
It's like, excuse me, sir. I don't know magic, so I can't figure out how long it's gonna take for this ball to go, to hit
It's
the
like,
ground.
hold on, let me get a chicken.
Wait, so horoscopes fall under that?
Yeah, horoscopes, tarot, psychics, mediums, basically pseudoscience.
Why is it called a horoscope? Oh, because it's like the star, like Horus.
Yes.
Wow.
That's dude,
I'm a genius.
Good job.
I didn't know there was well, I'm kind of an idiot.
It's a constellation.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's probably like the guy doing a backflip and
Yeah, that's the one.
and he's dunking a basketball at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah. That's where they got inspired to invent basketball from.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy seems to be doing it. Let's check it out.
That guy looks like he's having a good time. So it's a little unclear what the first form of divination was, but a lot of people believe it was known as haruspicy or harispicy, which was the Roman term. The Greeks called it hepatoscopy. These words are very hard. I just bear with me.
Is hepatoscopy and horispicy?
Hepatoscopy and harispicy.
Horispicy.
I'm already lost.
Right. So this was performed mostly in ancient Rome. It was also found in Greece, Italy, Babylon, etc., and it continued throughout the Middle Ages and up until Christian history really begins. Yeah.
Okay, so
Jeremy
yeah.
very quietly opened a bottle while I was talking, and it's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive because I didn't really hear the hiss,
Yeah,
which I feel
yeah.
like that's what you were going for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard the hiss, so the microphones probably did too.
So the harispicy that was performed in these ancient times mostly involved predictions where people would gather to perform animal sacrifices, which primarily were sheep or poultry, and then they would hand off the entrails of the creature to someone known as a haruspix. They believed that when you study the entrails after sacrifice, that you could divine the future, very specifically by looking at the liver. That was the organ that you wanted to study.
So how was this supposed to like what made them see the future? Like what did they see, or like what was it, like just like a vision?
So it was, you would take out the liver, right? And you would look at the liver and it would have a blemish here, a growth there. It would be shaped in this particular way, stuff like
oh my
that.
God, it's covered in blood.
But yeah, they would find pieces of the liver if like a piece was concave or if a piece was accidentally cut during the sacrifice. And they have these diagrams that would say, oh, when these things are here, it means that X is going to happen. They really boiled it down weirdly to a science that's not a science. And they used the liver in harispicy specifically because the Babylonians said that was the way to do it. They were extremely famous for this form of divination because they believed that the liver was the source of blood in the body and thus the reason for life itself. Now, what's weird is they were actually right. The liver is like the biggest source of blood in the human body. It's what produces blood. You think it's the heart, right? The heart just moves it.
I thought it was bone marrow.
Bone marrow is the other one.
Oh.
Primarily the liver produces blood. So it's weird because they were like kind of correct, back in the most ancient of times.
They were correct in the sense that there was blood inside of the liver. I mean, I feel like if I were to cut someone open and say, this liver's really pouring a lot more blood out of it than all the other organs, I'd be pretty accurate on that as well.
Fair. Now, we recognize their method of haruspicy because there is a clay model of a sheep's liver that is dated from anywhere between 1900 and 1600 BC that is conserved currently at the British Museum. And it was meant to be a guideline for new diviners to learn what the liver was predicting.
I'm sorry, 19 to 16?
Yes.
Is that
100? So
like
1,900. Yeah, so it was like 3,000 years ago. Or no, it was like 4,000 years ago.
Oh, as in, BC.
BC.
Got it.
Yeah, 19 to 16. Yeah, because BC goes backwards.
Why did you read those numbers backwards?
Yes, because BC.
Also, I was like, that's not that impressive. Like, they found a slab of clay from, like, just
just the other day.
Yeah.
Now, this form of divination started to be used by ancient doctors because they wanted to sacrifice the sheep, look at its liver, and then that would tell this ancient doctor what was wrong with their human patient.
Oh, yeah. No,
that checks out.
that's how we do it today.
But what's funny about that is that it accidentally led to the idea of anatomy and autopsies, because by doing this to sheep and other mammals, they started to learn, the liver produces blood, the heart pumps it, this is like what the brain is shaped like. And so they accidentally came up with the idea of anatomy from this. And it genuinely started to help doctors diagnose patients.
Well, I mean, that's not super uncommon of like magic becoming science once you start to actually do any remotely scientific thing about it. I'd be more shocked if like someone said, just one day, this dude just came up with math. Like he literally, there was no math beforehand. And all of a sudden he was like, guys, I got a great idea.
Now, what I really want to get into is the Romans, because the Romans practice a shit ton of divination, but none more than augury. Now, you've probably heard the word augury because
it's like peeing in someone's mouth.
No, that's what we're doing later today. Augury.
Ooh, I really hope that line is cut out.
No, augury is kind of this word that was taken from this particular practice because it was so widespread to almost use as a substitute for the word divination. For example, when you want to see the future in Dungeons and Dragons, you cast the augury spell.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Honestly, I didn't know that was a spell.
Oh, yeah, it is. But augury is a form of theriomancy, which is a specific form of divination that is about observing animal behavior. Augury is about birds, baby. We're talking about birds. So but augury was specifically the name that the Romans gave it. That actual general term is ornithomancy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, like ornithologist, which is
yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And it led to ornithology later.
Right. For what's that?
Ornithology?
Yeah.
It's study of birds.
Oh, is that literally?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
People who are like, yo, that's a crow, and someone's like, yeah, I know. I'm an
And then someone goes,
ornithologist.
it's a raven. So an augur was an individual who, quote, took the auspices.
Does it come from the term like augment? Does that translate into it?
And I actually looked that up, and I couldn't really find a connection.
Okay, are they even related? Like, am I just making up a spelling for either of those?
You're not making up the spelling. You are correct. They are spelled similar.
Okay.
But augury was taken from the fact that the guy who did it was an augur, but an augur took the auspices. So it kind of worked backwards into the name from what I can tell.
Okay.
Because taking the auspices is a literal translation of the word auspicium, which translates to one who looks at birds.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah. So it kind of worked backwards from auspicium to taking the auspices to augur to augury. Now,
Ain't that forwards?
I don't know. Now, there are a bunch of forms of augury depending on what behavior is being observed. So an augur will look at the flight patterns of a group of birds, or maybe their singing voices, or their feeding habits, whatever. If a bird can do it, someone used it to predict the future for some reason. The most famous divination from an augur was between Romulus and Remus. Do you guys know Romulus and Remus?
I have no idea.
They're the mythical founders of Rome.
Well, one of them is.
Good point. So the
They were
two...
raised by wolves.
Yes.
More fun facts.
Oh, okay. So it's that statue of like the giant wolf, and then like it's
Then the two kids?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Remus got murdered.
I don't remember which
I
one
want
got
to say
murdered.
it was kind of a Cain and Abel like rehash.
It is.
Okay.
Now, when the two were initially arguing over where they should build the city of Rome, Romulus wanted to build it on Palatine Hill, but Remus figured that Aventine Hill would be more easily fortified. They agreed that they would practice augury to decide where to put it. Remus saw 6 vultures when he sat down looking at Aventine Hill, but Romulus saw 12 vultures. This led to Rome being built on Palatine Hill, as Romulus suggested, because more vultures meant that it was more likely to be prosperous, essentially.
Interesting. I'm now learning that Palatine Hill is a thing,
Yeah.
which is where you get the word like paladin stuff from.
You know, every time I wrote or read it, I could only think of Palpatine.
I'm sure that's not
Not too far off.
because one of Rome's emperors was also, I think, called Palatine, and
okay,
his
that-
house
yeah.
was called his palace.
Okay, so they just put another P in there.
Yeah, and
Now, I do want to talk to you about the best form of augury, called, and bear with me, electriomancy. It's not spelled like electricity. It's spelled Alectryomancy. Electriomancy. Now, this was a Greek version of augury. Essentially, an area would be sectioned off and split into a grid. Various grains would be placed in specific parts of the grid and then assigned a letter. A chicken or a rooster would then be released into the area to eat the grains of its choosing. The letters associated with the eaten grains would then become the divination, kind of like a way more complex Ouija board.
yeah.
The most famous use of the technique was used by the Roman Emperor Valens, who wished to know who his political successor would be. So he got an augur to divine his answer through electriomancy. The chicken ate T, H, E, O, and D, which the crowd around assumed referred to a local politician named Theodotus. Given the news, Valens, the emperor, had a very reasonable response of executing the augur sages and Theodotus immediately.
Why do you get the augur?
Because he killed the messenger, basically.
So like, for a time, you're telling me that like chickens.
Chickens murdered these people.
Hold on, I'm still confused by that because like you asked for this.
Yes.
Like it's like hey, go to the store and tell me if they have milk, and then he comes back, he's like they have milk, and he's like, all right, well, not only am I now gonna go get milk, but I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah.
It's like not like some other person came back and said, hey, do you have milk? And he came back and said, no, they don't got any milk. That's how you respond to.
Well, I mean, like, think of every story you know about Roman emperors.
I thought you were just gonna say think about every store, and I was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, like, we got Sam's Club.
How is that the first one you went to?
Because
You're
I
like,
specifically tried to think of the last one I would think of.
I've never been to a Sam's Club.
I don't
so.
even like. I know that they are all over Southern California. I've never seen one.
I know where one is because it's next to an In-N-Out I went to a lot during
Oh,
college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you lying to me, Adrian? You said you didn't know where
No,
it was.
I didn't say I didn't know where it was. I've never been inside it.
Yeah, you said you didn't know where they were from.
That may be true.
Yeah.
It's like an Arby's or a Red Robin. Like I know where a ton are. I've just never
Never gone in one. Yeah.
never gone in.
But yeah, think of every story you know about Roman emperors. Have any of them acted rational or sane in your opinion? There's the one who brought his army to stab the coastline.
Well, he was going to war with Poseidon.
Wait, is that an actual thing that
Yes.
happened? Like,
Well, it's an actual story. Like I don't know if it.
I think in context, like he wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm actually attacking Poseidon. He was more like, hey, I'm gonna fucking send my army to go do something stupid, and everyone was like, yep, you can do that because
Because you are the Roman emperor.
and we're not gonna challenge that because we get it.
But yeah, I think augury is very funny.
It's so funny. Ooh, isn't that weird? Let me interrupt you by saying the exact same thing you were going to say.
Of course, please do.
It is funny to think that for a very long time, they based it entirely on the randomness. Like, there wasn't enough randomness in the world. They were like, birds do something kind of random. We can get information from that.
Exactly.
They weren't like, pour a glass of water down and see if it makes a shape. They're like, no. Just get a chicken to knock that glass over.
See, my whole thing is like, why did they think that all this? I mean, they must have gotten results out of these predictions, right?
Well, yeah, that's why Theodotus was executed.
Yeah, you would be there,
and then
like,
they've been doing this for
but
thousands
here's the thing,
of years.
Adrian.
You'd be there.
Valens wanted to know who his political successor would be. The chicken said it would be Theodotus, and then he murdered Theodotus. And guess who did not become a political successor to Valens?
I mean,
I
yeah.
imagine someone did though.
But it wasn't Theodotus.
No, I totally get that. Also, Adrian, I want to say you would be at the Salem witch trials and be like, hey, we fucking put a rock on this woman's head and it crushed her head, and how obviously she's a witch because we've been doing that for a while. We've clearly been getting results.
Okay, but that's not how. That's not.
You've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
Yeah,
right?
A witch. That's not how you prove that that's not a witch. So the way that you prove it is you have to see if she weighs the exact same
as a duck.
As a duck.
Yeah, because if a duck can float and a witch can float, if she weighs the same amount as a duck, then they both float. I'm a man of science.
In real life, they used to test things like that by just basically harming you in a way with the logic that if you really were telling the truth, God would intervene.
Yes.
And so if they would be like, hey, here's a hot iron rod, we're gonna press it to your skin. They'd be like, whew, it burned you. Guess you're a liar.
Guess, yeah.
It's like, give me the fucking rod. We'll check some shit out.
Well, it's especially with like the witch trials, a lot of them were, hey, we're going to do this horrible thing that would kill an ordinary person. So if they live, then they're a witch and we have to kill them. But if they die, then they're not a witch. So,
but they go to heaven. So
you know how
good.
it goes.
That's you, Adrian. That's you every time you make stupid comments like, this is a good idea.
Okay.
But yeah, those were some very popular ancient forms of divination. Specifically, augury was used for like 1,000 years.
Oh, there's not too many chicken tellers anymore?
But
I think we should bring it back.
Oh. I do too.
Yeah, I bet you do, Adrian.
Yeah, I have an uncle that has a farm with a shit ton of chickens.
Bro, if we can grid off a section of his land and get a chicken.
I imagine it was relatively small. You described it like it's a massive zone, but it can't be like the 10 by 10 feet would be enough to put some seeds down.
I think it kind of depended on the auger kind of thing, you know?
Because I'm just thinking how much time in my day would be wasted if I had to walk like 100 yards to the next square. I'm like, hey, chicken, yeah, I know you can't see it, but over the horizon, there's some seeds.
Well, I've seen recreations of this where they basically just have like 26 cubby holes, you know, just in a line with the different grains.
Yeah.
And it acts as the same purpose. But whenever I found examples of the ancient form, it would just be an area would be like gridded.
Also, I want to point out they use different seeds, right? Mm-hmm. So chickens can be pretty easily trained. They could theoretically have had him trained to eat those seeds in specific orders and then just spelled them out with the seeds.
Exactly.
Could have just done that.
Yeah, there's another
letters
one.
in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are various ways to perform it.
So I want to point out that guy murdered Theodotus for literally no reason because he also died alongside the...
yes, that's correct.
He should have been like, no one, you're immortal. And then...
Well, that was why they had, genuinely, that was why they had crowds of sages who would watch. Because...
Wait, just people in the crowd died?
Yes, he had everyone in the crowd executed as well.
Well, that's a bit extreme.
I don't even know what like he gets from that though. Like it's like, hey, you guys are on my side, right? Like, yeah, of course we are. And it's like, all right, well, go get fucked then.
Well, because I think it was the augur said it was Theodotus, so Theodotus got to die. Mm-hmm. But the augur now knows that it was supposed to be Theodotus, so he's got to die. And now the crowd knows that it was supposed to be Theodotus, so they got to die. But then, you know, if you ask me, Valens also knows that it was supposed to be Theodotus, so I think he should off himself.
You kill that's the only way to do it.
By the way,
it's like, you ever played Red Dead Redemption, the first one?
Yes.
You remember when you would commit a crime, like if you murdered all the witnesses, your crime wouldn't be added to your bounty?
Yeah.
I think that's what he was doing.
But anyways, so I don't know if it's the shirt that I'm wearing or because we were singing Hamilton before, but every time I hear Theodotus, Like
Theodosia, she's mine.
my brain just goes back to not that one. It's Dear Theodosia,
Say to you. I fucking love Hamilton, dude.
What the fuck is happening today? We're two people that have never been able to sing before. That's not true, Adrian. I don't know what you're saying.
Kind of sing.
But now it's
Adrian's
like, you
better
guys are
than me.
hitting fucking harmonies. Like, before we recorded, like, Tyler just whipped out, like, a fucking solo. Like we were just talking along, and he was like, oh, okay. And then it was like an angel
I
was
think
just
it was
singing.
No one else was in the room where it happened. And then it goes, burm, 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 burm.
Oh, man, that second bit, that was on point.
Yeah, that one's more,
It's just like a trumpet or whatever is playing in my ear.
It's a trumpet, yeah.
Is it a trumpet?
Yeah.
Does it have one of those big stoppy things in that make it like...
No, so it's well, I mean, we're not gonna get technical in the music. It's literally just a keyboard with a trumpet sound.
oh, okay, well,
That's all it is.
feels a little
Oh,
cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, it does sound... Okay, now that you say that, I'm
Like,
like,
I
I
totally
totally
get
hear
it,
that.
yeah.
As, you know, we're already here. What does that thing you do that you put inside of a trumpet?
It's so you can play it indoors, I believe, right?
Well,
like
yes.
near people.
It's like a muffling
Yeah.
thing.
Because
Doesn't it totally change the sound, though?
It does, yeah.
And it's because brass is like, it's loud. You can't make it not loud. Like you can't just blow
Yeah.
a little
Well,
softer.
it's the same thing as like, you know, right now I'm talking normally, but if I put my hands over, it's like you could still hear me, but
Yeah.
it's very muffled.
But that's where you get the
It's
jazz,
the same
like...
thing. Yeah, and then they could like open it up or whatever. and-
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't... Man,
yeah, they hold it and they can like, it's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm just learning everything. We're learning augury over here, learning like about jazz.
So yeah, ancient divination. There are, oh my god, go to Wikipedia right now and just search divination. The list,
That's for you guys, not for us.
yeah, the list is so fucking long. I had to go through just to be like, all right, what are
Oh
the
wait,
important ones?
shit! Yeah, you sent me the list.
Yeah, I
I
sent
think
you-
you
I
were
sent
like,
you guys
"Hey,
list.
pick one that you think is fun," and I was reading through them, and I was like, "Oh, these are all shit, aren't they?" You know?
Yeah, so I kind of just went with this. But there are
one
also
of them was like listening to like their stomach rumble.
yes, that's correct.
Wait, is
yeah.
that an actual one? I didn't read the full list. Like, I just saw, like, oh, yeah, pig entrails. And I
Which
was
is
like,
funny that you picked that one because that's haruspicy.
Adrian would just pick that.
Yeah, would pick the correct one.
Yeah, it's like you fucking slaughter an animal and like, oh, yeah, okay, crops are gonna grow or whatever.
I tried to find one that was like awkwardly sexual, but the closest I found was like someone farting in your ear.
What?
And I was just like,
I did not see that one. Here, let's try that one right now. Adrian, come here.
I guess it doesn't have to be in your ear, but like you need to hear it, you know?
Just like a... And someone goes like, crop's going to be good this year.
Oh, that's not what I expected.
Now, ancient divination, was typically put... It was started from somewhere that kind of made sense, and then most of them accidentally became science. Modern divination is less fun because it's problematic.
I don't believe that. Why would it be problematic? I mean,
Well, because ancient ones help people stumble into science. Modern ones make people stumble further from science. Because we actually have science now, and people go like, not in my astrology. Like,
Yeah.
speaking of astrology, let's talk about that.
I know astrology.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
am
what-
an Aquarius.
I am also an Aquarius
You know why?
because we were born on the same day.
That may be true.
must be nice. I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpion.
Yeah,
Scorpion, bless up.
yeah. It's
So-
my main in Mortal Kombat.
You're not a
main.
Sub-Zero main?
No, fuck Sub-Zero.
I have
ninja?
no mains in any fighting game.
Really?
I can play
Not
everyone.
even Smash.
No.
The only worst thing he could have said is Kirby.
To be fair, I can fly to the top of the screen and become a brick and then just ruin your day.
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
Like, as I said, I can play all characters.
That's me in Apex, where we'll queue up and I'll be like, who do you want on your team, man?
Yeah, that's
Like,
true. I do have a main in Apex.
Just because you know how to play Bloodhound and
Well, it's
nobody
also
else.
for some reason, and especially in a lot of shooters like that, I just can't fucking see. Like,
Bloodhound's good for
Bloodhound
that.
being like, hey, we're gonna highlight the things on your screen because oftentimes everyone's like, yeah, we're shooting over there. I'm like, cool.
Where? And then you can go, Old Father, give me sight. And you're like, there, got
Yeah.
it.
Sometimes they're like right in front of me, and I'm just like, are they on my screen?
To be fair, there are some times where like I just don't know where the enemy
Yeah,
is,
like-
or like they like blend into the
Yeah, like
into
my
the
teammates will
background.
be pinging. They're over there. I'm just like, look, I'm looking directly at your ping, man. I'm sorry. So astrology and zodiac signs, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that as a modern form of divination.
Is that the same as horoscopes?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, both of these actually had an extremely ancient origin that potentially actually predate written records, but they've been bastardized to an extreme degree over time, right? Essentially, astrologers claim that you can learn a person's personality solely based on the constellation under which they were born. Now, I know that is derivative, and I know a lot of people who believe in astrology. Don't fucking at me, just bear with me. That is essentially boiled down what it is. Throughout your life, your horoscope can change constantly due to the movement of celestial bodies, allowing divination at any point that you can need it. Now, note, astrologers recognize the movement of celestial bodies, especially those in our solar system and our local constellations. What they don't recognize is that there is another constellation that they didn't recognize in early days because Earth has moved through space, but we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We'll get to that. Now, zodiac can refer to a few different things depending on the culture you're looking at, right? So Chinese zodiacs are symbolized by animals, depending on when you were born, whereas Western zodiacs are represented just like astrology about the constellation under which you were born. Because Western zodiac is just your horoscope, really. Now, Jeremy and I, as we just talked about, are both Aquarius. Now, Adrian is a Scorpio. So I went online to Google love compatibility between the two signs. So I would like to read you an excerpt that I compiled from various ones.
Finally.
Please do.
So, Scorpio is an explorer who loves to socialize, while Aquarius prefers to analyze Scorpio's discoveries. Both enjoy talking about with one another. Aquarius may demand perfection too soon for Scorpio's taste, but over time Scorpio will appreciate a steady and reliable lover whose head isn't always in the clouds. Aquarius and Scorpio have a unique approach to life. Aquarius is more practical and less distracted, where Scorpio is the energetic explorer. It can be hard for Scorpio to go along with the pragmatic realism of Aquarius. Aquarius may have a hard time accepting the Scorpio energy. Aquarius can offer Scorpio a secure base and keep them on track with their dreams and ambitions. Scorpio can add variety and new excitement to Aquarius's day. How does that sound to you, Adrian?
Sounds pretty accurate.
Sounds pretty
actually.
accurate?
Yeah.
What if I told you that was actually not Scorpio and Aquarius, but actually Sagittarius and Virgo?
Really?
There you go. Because I, too, was like, ooh, I land on this pretty well. But then I caught myself and was like, wait a minute, I bet I sound like that on all of them.
Yep, because in that case, replace Scorpio with Sagittarius and Aquarius with Virgo, because that's actually their love compatibility and not Aquarius and Scorpio.
Yeah. See, I believe that. All right, so
I think
I'm a Latino male. Growing up, there was this one guy who we used to watch on TV all the time. That he was very famous for reading.
Gonzalez.
I mean, him too, sure. I actually don't remember this guy's name, but he died a few years back. But I remember as a child watching him read everyone's horoscope, and we used to watch him every single day. And then my kid brain realized at one point, oh wait, he said that about that person about a month ago.
Oh.
See, that's the really fun thing about astrology. It's the fact that it's all complete fucking bullshit.
Well, sorry, was this an American show?
Well, it was on Univision.
Okay, so it could be, but no.
Produced in America, but it's Spanish speaking.
Oh, yes. Okay. Because I was like, oh, I don't recognize that as a show.
Yeah. Well, there are newspapers and magazines and websites that tell your horoscope every day, but it's all bullshit because it's all just very general stuff, which is why I'm really glad that fit, and you're both like, well, look at that, because
if it didn't, we were going to be like, excuse me, that's not us at all. You're clearly reading a Virgo and a...
Well, that just reminds me of the fucking televangelists.
Yes.
The psychic televangelists who
Exactly correct.
Oh,
Sylvia
yeah.
Brown, I'm glad you're dead.
She was... the black woman?
No, that was...
Cleo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sylvia Brown was just a horrible person who would talk to parents of kidnapped children and be like, oh, here's what they want to say to you, or oh, they're fucking dead, when they're not actually dead, they're alive. So then the parent gives up on the case, and that's fucked up.
I remember, because this could apply to literally anyone, but if memory serves, there is a very famous woman who spent a very large time as a child / teen kidnapped, and she was watching the show.
Yep, on Montel.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Sylvia Brown.
Okay.
Yep. And I know you know that because we both watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. By the way, this was the man.
Whoa.
Yeah, Walter Mercado. Used to watch him every single day growing up as a kid.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Which Final Fantasy do I get to fight him as the final boss?
Final Fantasy VI. His name is actually Kefka. He actually kind of looks like Kefka a little bit.
A little bit. No, you're not wrong. Tell me he's not a Final Fantasy boss.
Is this seriously a guy?
Yeah.
That is like a very androgynous.
Yes. Yeah. No, I had
Yes.
the same thought.
Yes.
Like I would be like, why are you showing me a photo of Glenn Close in like a tuxedo?
Dude, yeah, and all his outfits were like fucking magnificent.
It really is.
Yeah, and we all believed him. Like, oh yeah, he said this about Scorpio. I'm positive it'll come true.
Was he also a psychic?
Yes.
Okay.
Ugh.
He looks like a Mexican Jimmy Savile.
Oh
I mean-
my God. That is the most accurate thing I have ever heard about anyone in my life.
By the way, if you want to know anything about this man, there's a Netflix documentary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it in English?
It is. In
Okay,
English,
thank God.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure.
Yeah. So the only reason I remember is because Lin-Manuel Miranda is also in the documentary.
Oh, really? All
yeah.
right.
So if you want to watch
Is
it,
he
it's
talking about how awesome he is? Or?
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Dude, he was like beloved. Like everyone watched him.
He really watched Jimmy Savile?
Yeah, Mucho Mucho Amor on Netflix. The Legend of Walter Mercado.
Jeez. Wow. All right. But
What's that mean?
So that-
A lot of love.
A lot of love.
Okay.
yeah. Now, other than astrology being bullshit, just because psychics don't exist and divination is fake and pseudoscience, but let's look at it from the perspective
Hold
of...
on. If anyone's being upset by that, good.
Woo! Sorry, that really got me. So, but let's look at it from the perspective of people who believe this, right? So we're pretending that we believe in astrology. Now, astrology, again, derivative, but it is based on the constellation under which you were born. Now, all of the stuff we know about the different zodiac signs, we take from ancient Grecian mythology, basically. So let's talk about science within the pseudoscience. Through a process known as precession, Earth has moved its position in space.
Yes.
Because we are constantly moving in space. This effectively renders the dates of star signs meaningless. Because an ancient Grecian Libra was not born in the same location in space as a modern day Libra. So if you're trying to say that Libras are this month, I don't know what month Libras are, but if you're trying to say Libras are this month because that's how it worked in ancient Greece, basically, then you're just wrong because you're not actually born under that star anymore. We have moved.
Okay. So, like, if I were to look up at the sky,
It would
on
not
a certain month, it would
not look the same as it did in ancient Greece.
As in, like, it'd be offset,
Yes.
like through the calendar, or I physically, like, because the stars would be shifted.
All of the above.
Okay.
That's what precession is. We've just moved in space because everything moves in space.
2008 had a really bad precession.
Woo! Now, technically speaking, taking away the whole precession thing about how we were born in January, so we are Aquarius, right, Jeremy? We're not actually born under Aquarius because precession has happened, but beyond that, even if we were born in January in ancient Greece, we still wouldn't be in Aquarius because there is a 13th zodiac known as Ophiuchus, but nobody recognizes it because we, as a species, didn't realize that there was like another constellation up there because we couldn't see it at the time because of precession. We've fucking moved. So a new constellation has formed between then and now, meaning that there is a 13th zodiac. But when NASA released this information of like, hey, look, there's a 13th zodiac. Isn't that neat? People who believe in horoscopes went fucking batshit. Because they were like, you can't tell me I'm not a Sagittarius. I've always been a Sagittarius.
Oh, hold on. How does that work? How do you add in? Because
because we can just see another one now.
Yeah,
so
but
everything like kind of just shifts.
Yeah, because of precession.
No, I get that, but the horoscope, like the constellations are just shapes I make out of the stars.
Yes.
Couldn't I just point to any 6 stars and be like, look, that's like a sword?
So, yes.
Like, how are they like, by the way, there's a, like, unless I look up and see that 13th, and it very distinctly looks like a guy doing a backflip dunking a basketball.
That is now my headcanon for what Ophiuchus is. That's my new zodiac.
Because it just feels very weird for NASA to be like, oh, by the way, we found a new cat in the sky. And it's like, you can connect these little dots together.
It's because it actually existed back then, but they couldn't see it. I know
couldn't see it.
the Greeks couldn't see it because of their primitive astronomy equipment.
Yeah.
But it did exist, and it is more brilliant now that the stars are more brilliant now because we've moved and we can see it.
No, I totally get that. I just find it very weird that you are like, hey, I've made it. It's like you're playing connect the dots, and someone says, hey, you can if you put these dots together, you make another shape, and then saying that's also a part of the solve.
And I wish I really had an answer for you, but I kept finding.
Call up NASA right fucking now. I'm not gonna. I will die on this hill that like.
Well, I kept finding different explanations for it. One of them was that astrologers in ancient times, some of them could see it, but you could only see it through a telescope, not from the naked eye. Mm-hmm. So they were like, hey, we do know there's another constellation, because back then they were still defining constellations.
Okay.
And so they were like, oh, we can see this one, and the gods have told us it's one as well, but people are like, well, I can't physically see it, so it doesn't exist. But now we can physically see it because we've moved. I think that's the explanation, that it was always there, and some astronomers were like, this is one because we're still defining them.
Right.
But people didn't believe them.
Well, I'm also like, is there
It's bullshit. Like, the answer is it's bullshit.
Well, I mean, like, is there a clear like simulation of what I could kind of see the like the stars looking like back then?
I can't imagine that there isn't.
Yeah. Because I get that they would change over time.
Can't just like planetariums do that?
But I'm just like I feel like they're so far away that even after 1,000 years, they wouldn't change that much in my head. But maybe I'm wrong.
They've changed enough.
No, I get that they would shift. Here's the thing: I'm not here to defend horoscopes. I just feel like I don't believe that.
No, well, because it's all bullshit is the real answer.
Hold on. Don't say it. You can't say everything's bullshit.
Everything's bullshit. But what was funny is NASA basically confirmed the existence of this constellation. And a bunch of people who believe in horoscopes got really upset because they were like, well, I've always been a fucking Taurus, and you're telling me that I'm actually whatever the one before Taurus is? Because if we
actually go back 2.
Oh, you go back 2, is that what it is? It's weird.
Why do I go back 2? What happened to...
Because of how it gets put in. But hold that thought.
Well, how does that make any more sense than anything?
It doesn't! That's the problem!
You don't get to throw this weird fucking bullshit at me and then say you go back 2. You're like, hey, what's 1 plus 2 minus 1? Go back 2 for some fucking reason.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200, Jeremy.
Okay, so like... There are 12 horoscopes, right?
There are 12 zodiac.
There are 12 zodiacs.
But there was a 13th that nobody recognized because they didn't think it was real.
So if I was 7 and you inserted a 13th one somewhere along there, how do I move in 2 directions?
I think it's because of cusps, but I don't understand cusps.
The cusp is in like... What the fuck is that?
I don't know. I tried to understand it. I couldn't. But point is, NASA essentially confirmed Ophiuchus exists. People got really upset, and so NASA basically had to do a press release saying, horoscopes aren't fucking real, stop sending us mail. Like, sure, you're still a Taurus because it doesn't goddamn matter. Because NASA was just trying to be like, hey, isn't this neat? And everyone was like, fuck you.
Here's the thing. I think about this every fucking episode, where every time we talk about something, I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. I need a goddamn red phone in the middle of this table, so I just call someone up and be like, hey, NASA, what the fuck? Why is it 2?
One of my favorite bits still is when you fucking texted your dad to be like, how does this work?
Yeah, and he literally sent me, like, I remember... I asked him about it. I never mentioned this, but I asked him about it a little while later. I said, hey, so... yeah, thanks for responding so quickly. And his response was, yep, keep in mind that we've only ever had like 6 of atoms of that element total, so we have no fucking clue what it does. The concept of stabilizing it may do anything to it. And I was just like...
So what you're saying is Bob Lazar was right.
Could be.
All right, cool.
He could be. I still believe Bob Lazar. He definitely worked on a spaceship.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about more bullshit other than horoscopes and Bob Lazar.
Why not send us back 3 just for fun? That's my question. Why is it 2?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Oh, did you find an explanation?
No, but like I found a chart with like what the new dates are.
What would I be if I was an Aquarius?
Well, all right.
What a fucking stupid question.
I think a Capricorn.
What are your birthdays again?
January 24th.
Yeah, you're Capricorns.
Yeah.
What does a Capricorn do? Describe them. Let's see how I've been.
Capricorn?
Yeah.
Isn't it just no, not a unicorn?
Well, I'm not asking what like spirit animal am I? Like, how would I react?
Yeah, no, I'm a fish. I know I'm an Aquarius. No, we're not a fish. That's Pisces. We're a jar pouring water, I think.
Is that what that is?
I'm pretty sure,
Oh,
yes.
fuck yeah. That's always described to me.
We're the second Wonder Twin, the one that always turns into a bucket of water.
We're the power
right.
of steam.
So you're responsible, you're disciplined.
Okay, that's fucking bullshit. We're going back one, because that's...
All right.
If anything describing me was disciplined...
Hang on. Let me read you the weaknesses.
Okay.
Know it all?
Okay, well, hold on.
Mate, we got some here. Well, we were digging for silver, but we struck gold.
Know it all? Unforgiving. Condescending. Expecting the worst.
Wow. That is on board.
Jeremy, we might be Capricorns.
Well, hold on. What? All right, stop. What is it for Aquarius? Just get the whole list out. I just need.
I think Capricorns and Aquarius are actually like kind of similar.
Well, no fucking shit. They're only 2 apart. Dude, next they're gonna find the 14th one. They're gonna be like, add 6.
Well, no, you need to subtract 2, then add 6, and people will be like, "What? So add 4?" And they'd be like, "No."
Actually, maybe. All right. So weaknesses for Aquarius runs from emotional expression.
Yep.
Woo.
Yeah, got me there.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Temperamental.
I mean,
not really.
You, yes, me, no. But for you, I think it's a bit.
yeah. Let's say it's a bit.
I mean, okay. Uncompromising.
Yes, very much.
I feel like I compromise all the fucking time. Like, people are like, hey,
yeah, but you bitch about it, and I think that's the point.
Yeah, but that's why I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, and the last one, aloof.
Okay, well, you lost me there.
Aloof
I
means
am a
like
tight ass.
what? What does it mean? Aloof means like not always around.
No, it means like nonchalant, just taking it easy.
Is that what that means?
Aloof means not friendly.
What?
Or
I
like,
thought aloof
or
was
like distant.
Yeah,
I thought aloof was just like, nah, man, I don't mind. I thought it was like a hippie.
Just not friendly or
I
forthcoming.
thought stoners were aloof.
Yeah,
I mean,
I always kind of think of aloof as kind of stealthy, like you don't always see them. They're aloof.
I
always think aloof is the name of like a Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It should be. It would be a good name for Pokemon.
The first one's called aloof, and then the second one's like cold shoulder, and then the third one's just righteous bitch.
I was going to make almost the exact same thing. I was going to say frigid bitch.
That's better.
No, that's the regional form. Where it becomes an ice type.
This is totally unrelated to horoscope stuff. But why did you just take out 3 Jolly Ranchers and just put them on the table?
I took out 4 Jolly Ranchers. Adrian ate one instantaneously.
Oh.
It's because apparently I dropped some Jolly Ranchers in.
Here's the thing. I don't even like Jolly Ranchers.
But he's like, sugar.
I love Jolly Ranchers.
I love Jolly Ranchers. I bought a bag of them when we were at the store the other day because a small bag of Jolly Ranchers will last me like a year.
Interesting. How do you guys feel about Tootsie Rolls?
I love Tootsie Rolls.
I think Tootsie Rolls are fine. And I think when you get like the weird flavored Tootsie Rolls, 2 of them are absolute fire and the rest can go in the garbage.
Which 2?
I think I like I can never remember unless it's Halloween. The blue one goes directly in the trash because it's not blue raspberry. It is vanilla for some reason.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
The green one is good, and I forget what the other one I like.
The green one
is
is
not Halloween.
The green one is pretty much just a rolled up Laffy Taffy.
Yes.
Green apple.
I'm here for that.
Tootsie Rolls in general are just slightly stale, like saltwater taffy. Like you are not going to.
That's a great point.
I like it though.
Yeah, I fucking love Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Like literally, I spent my childhood, and this isn't like a metaphor for anything, trying to find the center of a Tootsie Pop.
I actually did on a road trip once. My sister and I did. It took me 136 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
You both look the same.
No, we licked a different Tootsie Pop. You fucking freak.
For some reason, I didn't like when you. In my head, you were like, "No, of course we didn't. We took turns." Like the issue was no. We were just on either end of the lollipop.
No, we both had our own lollipop.
Basically, a Tootsie Pop is like, hey, you like Jolly Ranchers and Tootsie Rolls? Well, here is the...
And that's why I actually don't like Tootsie Pops. I'm a blow pop kind of guy. I don't want to hear a fucking word from you.
Are they,
Adrian?
those the bubblegum ones?
Yes.
I only started chewing gum, like, within the last 3 or 4
really?
years. Yeah.
I love gum. It keeps my mouth busy so I don't fucking snack constantly. Adrian is dying over there to make some kind of dick joke. Like,
I'm thinking about it, yeah.
You're just like, oh,
just workshopping it.
yeah, what? There's something funny here. I can feel it.
Now, I have one last form of divination I want to talk about.
Yeah.
If we can.
Is it have to do with that deck of playing cards you have there?
Yes, we're talking about tarot cards.
Where'd you get those, like Toys R Us?
I bought these on Amazon, thank you, and they're actually, the art is like really nice on them.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little disappointed because I thought that was cologne.
No, these
I just saw the
tarot
box.
How those are like the holographic Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Dude, they're like really pretty. So I got the it's the Mystic Mondays
Oh,
tarot.
that's also. I thought that was another deck of cards. That's a book. They've
Yes, this is
disguised
a
the
book.
book.
Yeah. So now hold on a second. Tarot cards for
Tarot.
anyone who doesn't know.
Tarot, if you are me and don't know how to spell.
Tarot
Yeah.
are a deck of cards that have their own special suits and faces that were invented initially in Italy during the 15th century, but they were not used for divination until the 18th century. They were originally they were like a card game.
Oh.
They were a playing card game.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Nope.
First I go back 2 fucking spaces like it's goddamn Monopoly. Now you're telling me that there might as well be fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Yeah, it was 15th century Italian Yu-Gi-Oh.
They're like, hey, take another draw.
Now, in the 18th century, they started to be used in a form of divination called cartomancy, which is literally just using the randomness of a deck of cards to divine.
Right.
Now,
Oh, fuck this bullshit, dude.
but if you actually want to know what the card game was, it was basically off-brand poker. That's how they played.
You just found like certain
Certain suits and- yeah.
would have more value.
Exactly.
than the
It
others.
was off-brand poker. Now, a current deck.
I mean, was poker as super big at that time?
Poker's been around for a long time. People have been playing poker for a while.
I always wondered how did they come up with the idea of the cards? Like
For poker or for
just like regular
tarot?
playing cards, because like you'd have the cards, and do you think over time they'd be like, oh well, this is the common one we use. We'll just make all of them look like this. Like, do you think there were other off brands of
Yes.
cards?
There are
That's
a
what
ton.
tarot was.
Well, in Latin culture, we actually have our own suits.
Yeah.
I have a couple
Yes.
of decks. Yeah.
There is a weird history behind cartomancy and like just cards in general.
It literally just blew my mind on the idea that poker is played with what used to be just old Pokemon cards, and now they're like, yeah, we don't really treat the Pokemon value anymore. But
Pretty much.
you're like, I have a Squirtle and a Charmander.
Now you have the suits.
Yeah, I have to show them the suits. Yeah, so
actually don't know what
these are the
Latin
suits.
suits.
Yeah, so it's like it's the coins.
Oh, that is,
Yeah, it's swords. It's the weird club things. And I forgot the last
that's
one.
not
And the
that's
chalices.
not Latin. That is Italian. That is tarot.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that is a tarot deck.
What the fuck is happening?
Cups. There are cups. There are swords. There are pentacles, which were originally coins,
Oh.
and then there's the major arcana and wands is the last one.
Those are wands.
Those are wands.
Oh,
that
shit.
that
ones
is
are
a
the
tarot
wands?
deck.
I didn't know that. Well, it's because like the king has like a big ass like club. I thought that they were clubs.
Oh, okay. So
I think that
what's
might
a
be where it came
clubs?
from.
What's a pentacle?
It was originally coins, but
Was it just like the currency name?
basically yes. So a current
This
deck.
is one of the first days, by the way, that you have told me something, and I've left going, "That's interesting." Usually we go through cryptid things. I'm like, I'm so
just
fucking
mad.
pissed off that someone thinks that. And now you're whipping out like, oh yeah, by the way, like the Latin and the Italians fucking use magic when they're playing
Dude,
poker.
I could give you one of these decks if you want. I have a ton.
That's
I have one
fucking-
right here.
Oh, well, there you go.
dude. I'm gonna divine when I'm playing poker. Be like, hey, I don't have a good hand.
Is this a
but
winning hand? Hermit reversed. You should not.
my hand sucks, but Steve, I would really check on your wife.
Holy shit, that's funny. So a current deck of tarot, which is not the same that Adrian's showing, that is the old deck that is used for playing cards. But a current deck of divination tarot consists of 78 cards, which include 22 major arcana, which are like the face cards, 4 suits, and each of those suits have 14 cards each, as well as the 1 to 10 face cards. So there are face cards, there are major arcana, and then there are suits with 14 cards each. Now, the major arcana are the major arcana, which is the faces. There are cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. Most sets you see today are in French because that was when they first started using for occult practices.
Is that where the tarot comes from?
Yes.
What do the Italians call it?
Well, I think it was just also tarot but it was probably pronounced differently.
Yeah, you gotta sing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Tarot.
Yeah, probably.
There's a mariachi band somewhere behind them as they said it every time.
Yeah, Italian.
Yeah. We
So-
already went over how mariachi's Italian. I learned things on this show. Thank you very much.
So to discuss these suits, wands are typically about business or career. Cups are about love because they're like wine. Swords are conflict, and pentacles, which were originally coins, are about wealth and comfort. Meanwhile, the major arcana all have their own unique meanings to them.
I'm sorry to interrupt for another time, but that does seem to be my role on this show. Can I see what the pentacle looks like?
Yeah, here, hold on. Let me find a pentacle for you.
I can just Google it.
Yeah, because I'm just...
Yeah, you're going to want to Google it.
I imagine that it just
Because they're just circles, basically.
Okay.
Because they were initially coins. I'm going to shuffle
well,
these
there you
around
go.
so it won't work. Yeah, see, there's just Ace of Pentacles. It's just one.
That's a pentagram, though.
Yeah, pentacle, not pentagram.
No,
I
but
put
he
pentacle.
he looked up pentacle, and it came up a bunch of pentagrams. I don't know if that's
weird.
related to...
But yeah, so there are...
Is that where that fucking comes from? Holy shit.
So there are a lot of ways to read tarot, and they vary depending on the type of divination. When you read it, there are a certain number of spreads, which can either consist of, commonly, it's either 1 card, 3 card, or 5 cards. I don't really know how to do 5 card, but I've been learning how to do 1 and 3 card.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to read you.
Fuck yeah.
But I just do want to point out, the problematic nature of modern divination is that a subset of people choose to believe in mysticism over science, which leads to adverse effects. A super common trope in fantasy is to, quote, deny one's destiny, but we as a people seem to have missed the meaning behind that. For people listening, don't take a psychic's words to heart. Mysticism is all manipulation and reading social cues. If you're having a hard time, see a fucking medical professional, a goddamn therapist, a personal trainer, just talk to someone. Don't go to a psychic to fix your problems.
It's also important to point out that, unfortunately, there are some sects of science that also fall into what is effectively just mysticism.
Yes.
I mean, this kind of goes into police work, too, to be honest.
Oh, like profiling?
No.
okay, well-
Okay. I don't know how much I should reveal, but I do know of a person who, reads tarot and is a psychic for a living. And occasionally, she will get calls from the LAPD
yep.
to solve crimes.
If we ever... We've talked about this. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast.
Does
We've
she
talked about it
respond to
outside.
those?
Yes.
Huge cunt.
But I know we've talked about this outside.
By the way, she was also a nun for some time.
Huge cunt. Oh,
Yeah. Changes nothing.
maybe bigger.
Maybe don't deny God and use fucking the Arcana, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, so just don't go to a fucking psychic. But we've talked about off cam. I keep wanting to say off cam. There's no fucking cam.
Yes, there is. Keep watching. Maybe the videos will come out eventually.
Wink. But yeah, we've talked about potentially choosing a month in the year to make all episodes in that month true crime or specifically conspiracy theories and stuff. And if we ever do the true crime one, that comes up a lot, where the police go to a psychic to be like, who's the murderer? And the psychic is like, it's that guy. And they arrest that guy. And that guy's like, I didn't even know there was a murder.
Holy shit. I'm so excited to hear the next John Mulaney special. I didn't realize we were doing an ad for that.
Dude, there is a new Bo Burnham special coming out on Netflix, apparently.
Well, if
I'm
you
excited
suddenly
about
just
that.
turn into Bo Burnham and you're like, hold on.
He has the pipes for it.
You really do. Suddenly you burst into song. Like right now, burst into song.
This song is called A World on Fire. Oh, God! Thank you. That is one of his bits.
I know.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's a great one.
So anyway, past the PSA at the end there, I specifically want to read Jeremy. So I'm going to give you a 3-card spread.
Okay.
Now, do you want to ask a specific question?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your specific question?
Oh, shit.
You
Okay.
need to say it out loud. Otherwise, I can just give you a general reading.
No, fuck that. That's pussy shit, as they say in the divinity world. What? It can be about anything.
Anything.
So, how likely am I going to break my foot when I try rock climbing?
Okay, so I will say it can be about anything, but let me edit the question a bit
Sure.
just so it works with tarot. You're just trying to understand how your time rock climbing is going to go,
Okay.
right? So you are going to, from anywhere in the deck, pull 3 cards and place them face down for me, okay?
Anywhere in the deck.
Anywhere in the deck. So you can grab the top one, you can cut the deck. No, face down, face down. Face
Oh,
down.
shit.
Fucking-
I already know my...
Son of a-
I wasn't paying attention, but here's the thing. We grab that card again. We know that that's my destiny.
Do you remember what the card was?
It was a pentacle.
Yeah, he was the pentacle he showed me.
Yeah, which is hilarious because when I tried to find a pentacles card to show him, it was that one earlier.
Destiny. Am I right?
All right.
Okay, so
Face down, please.
Face down, yeah. Let's try to find that pentacle one.
Yeah, you can cut the deck however you
Let's
like.
get
just-
that bad boy, and I'm going to do this one. And
Okay.
just for funsies, we're going to get that guy.
All right.
And do I need to order these in...
No, you already did. You already
Okay.
did. You ordered them like that. So we're gonna take it. Well, technically, it'd be the other way around because that was how it was facing you.
Okay.
So the way they face you is gonna be important, right?
Oh, because they can be upside down.
Yes. So go ahead and flip this bad boy for me.
Okay. So
This is going to be typically about your past.
Aw, dude, it says sex having.
So this is the Knight of Cups.
It's facing me.
Yes, exactly. So you do you know tarot?
What do you mean?
You flipped it and you said sex haver.
Is that how that says?
All right, now, normally I wouldn't read this verbatim. I would just take bits of it to explain, but I'm going to read this verbatim. Knight of Cups represents romantic, emotional elation and adoration. Charmer, seducer, lover. You may receive a romantic inquiry from a person of interest. The Knight of Cups is very in tune with his intuition and not afraid of a deep conversation. His emotions play a key part in his life and rule his decision-making. The Knight of Cups prances in as a person, an event, or a part of yourself that will bring you to high spirits. Regardless of gender, there is chemistry between the two of you that is simply undeniable. Not me and you, and somebody. That
Yeah,
you-
me and rock climbing.
Sure. The Knight of Cups urges you to shine a light on your vision and encourages you to take the plunge. He wears his heart on his sleeve and openly expresses his adoration for you. He's a sign that whatever you choose to do, you will be emotionally supported in the process. You've got some serious game. Receive the love that's coming your way.
Fuck yeah.
So, I just wanted to
Isn't
read-
that me from the past, though?
So in the past, what I would say is you enjoy rock climbing, clearly. At some point, you've gone rock climbing or you've thought about it enough in a romantic way. This is how I would read
Sure.
you. Now, potentially, I don't want to say anything, but potentially you may have met someone when rock climbing that you may not have noticed, but you had chemistry with. So there's something about rock climbing, at least somewhere deep down, that either the spirit of it, of the event itself, is very important and romanticized to you, or you start to be, you find it more... almost seductive. You can go rock climbing and that's like a seductive thing for you. Not particularly sexual maybe, but
Right.
it's like a siren song. Or the nice thing is, because cups typically do about love, you may have met someone once while rock climbing that, there might have been a little spark there.
Interesting. I think you went a bit too specific on that, but
I'm not a fraud.
I would be like, I don't know if this psychic really does know me. Do I do the next one?
Center one, please. Yep.
Okay, hold on. I'm also going to guess what this one is, just so I can land it. I'm really glad we chose a table in which it vacuum seals. All right, swords. That's the conflictorino.
It is the conflictorino.
Yeah, it's means I'm constantly running into some kind of conflict, hot-headed. Maybe I hate certain.
Kind of.
Kind of.
So
Yeah.
8 of Swords, it is facing you. And now I'm not gonna read it verbatim, I'm just gonna read it as to you. So there is something happening currently, because this is about your present, there's something happening currently that is keeping you away from what you want to do. You want to go rock climbing, right? So there is something about either you personally or something physically that is keeping you out of Hangar 18 to go rock climbing.
Quick plug.
What you need to do is you need to face that thing that is stopping you and do something about it. You know what I mean? You need to
Quickly cure COVID.
I know I wasn't going to say it. But there are opportunities for you to go rock climbing, but you just haven't seized the moment. You haven't seized any of the opportunities that you have. You don't need permission. It's very important. You don't need permission to go rock climbing. You can go whenever you fucking feel like it, big guy. Just change your perspective, open up, and allow yourself to find your way to the rock climbing gym.
Ooh.
And now the final one. This is going to be Two of Cups.
That's the hot lesbian sex one. They're all facing me, so that means fuck yeah.
All right, so now this is about your weird because I know the background of this. This is about your future, right? Now you want to go rock climbing, right?
Sure.
Now the Two of Cups is going to represent companionship. So you will not go rock climbing until you find someone to go with you.
That is oddly
specific because you've been trying to convince me to go rock climbing with you for like 2 weeks now. But you need companionship. You need someone with you to finally break the seals that are holding you down in the Eight of Cups. And, I don't want to get too out of myself, but if we're looking at all the cards in the spread here, you need someone to go with you to go rock climbing. Someone that can help you break into this, to break out of the chains and break your limitations and go. And that someone
you've already met.
And you may just have a spark.
All right, Adrian, what do you say?
No physical activity for me, please.
But yeah, so
Here,
I
guess,
do a quick
man,
reading.
those swords really did get in the way.
Yeah, I think tarot is fun, but it is problematic.
Yeah, that's I mean, when you were reading stuff, I was like, yeah, if I didn't know that you were basically reading like a very vague answer to me, I would have been like, that kind of fits. But I will say there were some times where I think you got so specific that I was like, that actually kind of falls out. I haven't gone rock climbing in years. I can't be like super romanticized around the idea.
Well, that's why I was like, it's either a person, or it's just to activate yourself, or of you going rock climbing is just like a romantic concept in your brain.
When I was reading that, when you read that, I was like, that is kind of true, because that's something that I used to do when I was younger and used to have a lot of fun doing, but then like didn't do.
And that's a romantic concept. Yeah. I will say when you open the box on the inside of the lid, it just says trust your intuition, which I find very funny because my intuition is what's in this box is bullshit.
This has an eye on it, like, we're fucking watching you.
Well, that's an occult symbol. That's just a...
Yeah, I know, but it's a occult symbol like, hey, you're getting watched.
Well, yeah, it's the ever-seeing eye.
Yeah, I know! Watching!
But yeah, that was fun reading your tarot.
Yeah, it was. First of all, let's play that cool poker game that I'm learning about.
I thought you were going to be like, let's go rock climbing right now.
All right, right now.
Well, I'm vaccinated, one and done, baby. You two nerds still have to get your second dose.
Also, we each have a different vaccine.
Wait, I got Johnson.
Yeah.
What did you get, Jeremy?
Pfizer.
And then
Moderna.
You got Moderna? Oh, I thought you both got Pfizer.
No, I got Moderna.
Weird. All right.
Yeah.
So if one of us just fucking dies, we're going to be like, oh, nice. Okay, so at least I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything.
All right, see you guys next week. I'm a big pussy, apparently.